How you doing, friends? Welcome back. My name is Rick and this is Winder's Ranger. So today's video we're going to go ahead and finish the install for the vent pipe and the cap up on the roof for the RV gray tank and black tank. The parts came in a few days ago and I found a 2-foot section of ABS black pipe, and we're going to go ahead and drag the tools and the ladder and get everything up on the roof and get started. We're going to go ahead and install all this today, and my hope is I'm going to walk you guys through at least the way that I did it. It may not necessarily be a how-to video, but we'll see how it turns out. So come along with me and let's get started. Here we are on the roof, and the other day I measured this point, which is pretty close. I'm within about an inch, I think, of the corner of the wall inside. So the wall where the TV is runs across here. Front door's over on this side. This is the wall going back along the bathroom. TV antenna, the bathroom vent. I use both of those from the inside measurements roughly to figure out where I am. So pretty close here. I've got some additional measurements where I think the pipe needs to be. So 5.5 inches from here over is where we're going to measure. That's going to bring us hopefully within line of where the vent pipe is on the inside the wall. 5.5 inches. We're talking right about there. I don't have a pen with me, so we'll have to work with that. And then roughly 2 inches back from there, and we're talking right about there. Should be pretty close to where we need to be. So let's go ahead and drill our hole, and we'll go down and check and see how close we got. I think we're getting somewhere here. Slowly. Well, that's a bad sign. Well, fast forward a little bit. Here's the finished product. I guess I measured wrong somewhere. I don't know exactly how I did that. The old adage, measure twice, cut once. Well, I measured twice, but that was a few days ago, and that's what gave me this mark on the roof here. Using the bathroom vent and the TV antenna. Of course, the TV antenna is shaped different on the outside versus what you see on the inside on the ceiling. So getting an exact measurement, unless I pull that off the roof, was a little bit difficult. I could have went back and just double checked all my measurements. That probably would have been a good thing, but like I said, I did that the other day and I thought I was within an inch or two anyway, but it turns out I wasn't. But what I ended up doing is I've got a roll of 4-inch wide by, I think it's 20 feet long of Eternabond tape, and that stuff is sticky as all get out. So the new hole, the hole that we've got now is basically centered here, 2 1/8 inches. The other hole is offset just a little bit, so it's basically right in this area. It had overlapped just a little bit. I took a piece of the Eternabond tape about 1 inch wide and 3 inches long, peeled the sticky protection off the back, stuck it in the underside of the roof sticking up, and I took the piece that came out of the hole saw and laid it on top of that sticky tape. And then what I did is I took another strip of Eternabond tape about 4 inches by 4 inches, and I cut the center out to fit around the vent, stuck it on the roof roughly, you know, about like that. And then I took the base of this, stuck it down, screwed it down, and then took the die-core sealant here and just squeezed that all around that, covered up the Eternabond tape, covers everything up on the roof. Not really so worried about hiding it so much as I want to make sure that it doesn't leak. Pretty confident that it's not going to leak. This die-core stuff, I mean, that stuff is sticky. I mean, you can see it gets all over everything. It's like industrial grade bubble gum or something, I don't know. So I've got to address the issue on the inside. I'll take in and show you that here in just a second. The other thing about this is the way this thing goes together, and I'm not really satisfied. You know, you see it's kind of wobbly. It's a 3-piece set. You know, it's the base, Then you got a funnel that goes down inside the pipe that comes up, and then this thing fits down between the outside of the base and the inside of the funnel, and it kind of locks everything into place. And you're supposed to use sealant around the top of the base and the top of the funnel, and it's supposed to hold everything together. I ended up, I used the die core because that's what I had with me. It's kind of wobbly. I don't know. I'm gonna let it set for a little while and let that die core kind of set up. As you can see, I mean, this is still kind of pliable, where, you know, once it sets up, it gets a little more firm. So I'm gonna let that sit for a little while and see if maybe that doesn't firm up a little bit. But I'm not super impressed by how, you see, it's not even sitting down on there very good. So I don't know, I may have to do something else with that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'm going to let that set up. We'll take you downstairs, I'll show you the inside and what we're going to do to fix that. Alright, so here we are inside. This is the corner that I measured from. You can see I still got to put trim on this corner here. I'm going to just use I don't know, what is that, quarter round or whatever. But up on the ceiling there, you can see, and I just measured it, it's almost exactly from the outside. It's a 1/2 inch this way towards the back here. So where I measured, I think it was 2.5 inches from that mark back. Well, actually it would be forward from here, going down this way to the wall. It should have been probably 3 or 4 inches I should have measured. So somewhere I was off a little bit. And the inside of the antenna, see, that's what I was talking about. So where the center of that is that the dial, or is it the center of that plastic cover, more like towards where the print is on the edge of it there? So I don't know. You know, I'm not real sure where I made the mistake. Pretty obvious I did make one though, so because right there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the hardware store here and we're going to get some trim. Haven't decided if I'm going to use quarter round up along the ceiling up here, or if I'm just going to get like a small board, you know, square board, you know, like maybe like a 1x2 or something like that. I guess that's the next thing. We need to load up and head to one of the hardware stores and see what we can find. See if we can get something to fix this. We also have to get a stain of some sort, maybe a paint, whatever they've got that matches something close to what the wall and the paneling and the cupboards there are. So I guess we'll continue this when we get back from the store. Well, we got the wall put back together and got the trim on. I decided to go with black. I thought black would work out okay. The hardware store that's local here didn't have a color that would match the stain there on the wall, but they did have the quarter round and the outside corner molding, which is what I used, and it covers up the hole pretty good. Can't even tell where it was. I would have liked to have done a little bit better in matching this corner here, but ended up I got it nailed up there before I realized that I could have maybe shaved that off with a knife or something, but I wasn't able to get the bubbles or the bulging in the wall there in that panel. Kind of see, let me see here. You got one there, and there's another one up here. Really couldn't do a whole lot with that unless I take that panel off. That's the way that panel bulged like that. I think that's now in that panel. I would have to take it off and probably replace it. You know, of course I could drive nails all the way across there, but I'm not going to do that. But I did get the edge here, this leading edge. I got that straightened out. And I also found a small issue down here. Let's see if I have to probably give it a little bit extra light here. But let's see, right here in this corner, they put a little piece of trim in there, and then they stacked up a bunch of the extra trim. I've already thrown it away, otherwise I'd show it to you. But I guess they used shims between the wall and the stair to get their placing. I don't really know why they did that. They left the pieces there, and then they put a flat piece of trim that matched what used to be up here on the wall down there, but it didn't run all the way up. I don't know, but there's probably a good 1/2 inch gap between the stair and the wall, and then this edge here, you know, where it folds over, it's open underneath of there, and it was open inside. It was a crappy job. It was an absolute crappy job. So I took a leftover piece of the quarter round that I've got there and trimmed it, and then I shaved it to the same thickness here. I don't know if I can get that to show up on camera very well. It's painted black like that, but I could have trimmed this too, but originally I didn't realize that I had this gap under here, so that ended up recessing it in about a ½ inch more than what I expected. So instead of matching this corner here, I had to trim here, but it all in all, it turned out okay. I put 2 screws in the cap up on the roof. I'm not going to climb back up there, but just drilled holes on either side of the cap and put the screws in real quick. That seemed to work out just fine. You know, I was afraid that driving down the road, if I happened to catch a low-hanging branch or something, and if it would be my luck that it would catch that cap. I mean, it would be hard to do with the air conditioners and the TV antenna right there, but that's just the kind of luck I seem to have. So I was concerned that a low-hanging branch might take that cap and bump it and knock it off, or even the wind. It seemed like it was loose enough that, you know, a long trip driving down the highway, you know, a gust of wind or something might catch it and blow it away. So the 2 screws, that should hold that on good enough. I filled the bowl up, in the toilet bowl up in the bathroom there, and I put maybe 2 or maybe 3 gallons, I don't know what that thing holds. Went ahead and flushed that down in the tank, and I would typically get a little bit of the odor coming down through this crawl space under the TV. I would typically get a little bit of an odor, and I did actually this morning before I started this whole thing. Got a little bit of an odor when I flushed the toilet. This afternoon, when I finished the project, I flushed the toilet, did the same thing after the vent was put up on the roof. No problem. Seems to have addressed the issue. Again, it wasn't exactly the easiest job in the world, but that is more my fault than anything else because I didn't measure correctly. It's going to be fine. It's not going to leak or anything. I could have done without all the extra work, but you know, what do you do? So hope maybe this helps somebody, and if we can learn anything out of this project, measure twice, cut once. I thought I did that, but I guess I could have measured 3 times, cut once. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for sticking with me. I hope everyone stays well, and until the next video, we'll see you later.